Waterways Council is a national trade association. We're focused on river transportation issues, and most of that is involving the lock and dam infrastructure. Most of that infrastructure is past their 50-year design life. In fact, the vast majority of them are over 80 years of age. So we are working to increase the funding for their maintenance, to get funding for new construction of locks and dams, and also for major rehabilitation that is becoming more necessary as these locks get older. Our membership includes certainly the agriculture community, a big part of our membership, but also the other manufacturers of products that are moved by barge, the carriers, the companies that run and operate the towboats and the barges that move on our inland river system, the construction contractors that work on locks and dams, organized labor that provides the America's building trades to work on locks and dams. We've got a pretty wide coalition. It's a big umbrella. 2023 really has been momentous. We got to start through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Last year, Lock 25 was pegged as the first of 7 locks under the NEST program. And that's going to get a 1,200-foot chamber adjacent to its existing 600-foot chamber, which was put in the mid-30s and has been working admirably, miraculously, but it needs a little help. So we're going to have two-way traffic now at Lock 25 on the Mississippi River. We're going to have a 1,200-foot chamber, which is it's key because that's the length of most of the tows that run on the upper Mississippi River, so they won't have to decouple and go through that arduous process of getting a tow through the current 600-foot chamber. It's going to be much more efficient when you don't have to pull those 15 barges apart and put them through in 2 different pieces. It's 2 hours, sometimes even more, depending on a lot of factors, weather, river conditions and so forth. There's a lot of factors involved, but certainly it's at least a 2-hour process to get that first cut, what they call it, through, and then pull the boat out and go through the locking process of the first cut, and then getting it out of the lock chamber, and then putting the boat and the next 6 barges through and doing that all over again, then finally getting them recoupled. It's dangerous too for our inland mariners. It's really a dangerous proposition. So if we had to move all of the product that moves on our rivers just in 1 year, it would be disastrous for especially the state of Illinois, with those 1,100 miles of inland navigable waterways and principally the Mississippi, the Illinois, and the Ohio rivers. Putting that all on rail or on truck, first of all, isn't even an option. It simply could not happen. So the manufacturing would dry up, your export markets would dry up. It just wouldn't be feasible. But if we could do that, the environmental impact, the social impact of having more trucks on our highways and county roads, having more rail going through our neighborhoods, that would be disastrous as well. So this is the lowest carbon footprint. It's the safest, it's the cheapest, it is the most fuel efficient means of moving bulk commodities that we have going. And our mission here is to increase that, allow us to move more product on our rivers and inland waterways, and continue to utilize the resource that we've got here. We just need to use it more efficiently. Getting a construction start at LaGrange on the Illinois River is the next thing that we are working on. The Corps of Engineers has started to have some public meetings on it and looking at the process that they're going to do. We've got to have the funding for it. So unlike Lock 25, which gave a big chunk of that funding through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, we need to go after every fiscal year. We need to go after funding to make sure we can start LaGrange, finish LaGrange, and then work our way up the river. This is not finished by a long shot. We've got a long way to go to get the funding to start the construction, make sure that the funding is there so we can finish these locks, finish the construction in as an efficient manner as possible.